In a shocking turn of events, Kawhi Leonard will take his talents to Los Angeles and sign with the Los Angeles Clippers. In the shocking announcement made right before 2 a.m., July 6, 2019, nobody could have predicted where Kawhi would end up. Almost every so-called expert had claimed they had sources were absolutely dead wrong. Leonard will sign a 4-year, $142 million max, an excellent genius move by the Clippers front office, also getting superstar Paul George for 4 unprotected firsts and other firsts, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Danilo Gallinari. Laker fans are punching the air right now in disbelief. The Clippers are now the favorites to capture the 2020 NBA title. After winning 2 Finals MVPs with 2 different teams, getting traded to Toronto from San Antonio, viewed as a 1-year rental, Leonard did the near impossible, single-handedly carrying the franchise to their first ever championship, destroying the Sixers almost single-handedly, and having one of the greatest playoff runs by anybody in NBA history. Now he will just add more to his legacy, and will have one of the biggest challenges of his career, looking to lead the Clippers, one of the worst franchises in NBA history, and trying to capture their first NBA championship. Doing it his way, on his terms, his team, the face of the franchise, with the brilliance of the excellent Jerry West in the front office, the smartest move the franchise ever made in snatching arguably the best player in the game today. Leonard made it clear if the Clips were able to get Paul George where PG approached the team, requested a trade, OKC had no choice and made the best out of a difficult situation, and now the first and second best two-way player in the game will team up. With the Clippers' potential lineup in Pat Bev, Landry Shamet, a deadly 3-point shooter who showed plenty of promise as a rookie last season, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Ivica Zubac, with Lou Will, Mo Harkless, Jerome Robinson, Rodney McGruder, and Montrezl Harrell off the bench, 2 6-Man of the Year candidates, the Clippers are not only the favorite to win it all in 2020, but they are easily the better team in Los Angeles without question. Despite the Lakers signing Danny Green to a 2-year whooping $30 million, missing out on Kawhi hurt big time for them. With Anthony Davis being injury prone, LeBron will still have to carry a heavy load in his 17th season. The Lakers are not even guaranteed to make the playoffs since the West is super loaded. The 2 best options in my opinion for Kawhi before his decision was obviously joining the Clippers or staying with Toronto. Either one could have been fine. And now he's on his way to winning another championship with 3 different franchises, looking to win 3 Finals MVPs with 3 different teams, something that has never been done before in the history of the association. He's got one of the richest men in the world by his side in Steve Ballmer, an excellent front office, a hell of a coach in Doc Rivers who's been there, done that. After the franchise's devastating struggles over the last couple decades, having no player jerseys retired, Leonard is destined to change that. Instead of going to the Lakers, one of the most historic franchises in NBA history, Leonard decided to do it on his own terms, could have done it the easy way in trying to team up with LeBron and Anthony Davis, guaranteeing him another championship, which would have formed arguably the best big 3 all time. And of course, many Laker fans are so angry out of frustration for no reason, and that's too bad. It's their fault they got a bad front office, and people believe all those fake news on social media. And Kawhi will continue building his reputation as the guy who ends super teams, just like what he did to Miami in 2014, breaking up the Golden State Dynasty in 2019. With the unfortunate injury to Kevin Durant, Kawhi would have just been viewed as just another good player teaming up with LeBron, where James would have gotten all the credit and attention, enhancing his legacy, where Kawhi would have just been in his shadow. But knowing what legacy is all about, Leonard is as unpredictable as any superstar player we have ever seen. Always relaxed, calm, and thoughtful, doing all the right things, avoiding drama and distractions at all costs, and going to the less popular team. His leadership speaks for itself by his work ethic. The NBA has been very predictable ever since LeBron decided to join the Miami Heat, teaming up with 2 other stars, winning 2 of 4 championships. Not a surprise. Then after James left and went back to Cleveland, knowing he had all-star Kyrie Irving, he decided to get Kevin Love, forming a big 3 of his own. In 2016, Kevin Durant took the easy path in capturing his first title by joining Steph Curry's team, handling his business, winning back-to-back Finals MVPs. With all the talks of super teams making the headlines, Kawhi just made the NBA as competitive as it's been in a very long time. There will be no super teams this coming season. Given Leonard's winning mentality, right now at 28 years old, at the height of his powers, I do believe he's the best player in the NBA. With Kevin Durant out this season, LeBron's 34 turning 35, doesn't play much defense in the regular season. Anthony Davis is arguably a top 4 to 7 player in the game, and it would have been an absolute travesty for the other 29 teams if the best player were to join a super team with 2 other all-stars who are arguably in the top 5 as well. For Leonard's legacy, it was best that he didn't become a sidekick and will always be viewed as an alpha now. Going forward, where the Clippers or Raptors made the most sense from the very beginning. It's easy to chase rings, teaming up with other talents, but the value of the rings is what's most important. Months ago, Kevin Durant mentioned about why stars don't want to play with LeBron because of the toxic environment surrounding him. Not LeBron himself, but the media, the fans around him, who go the insane length to ensure blame is not put on their king, where if LeBron wins, he almost gets all the credit. If his team loses, the blame is directed to anyone but him. Just look at Kevin Love and Chris Bosh, for example, guys who don't fit perfectly with LeBron, but made huge adjustments and sacrificed their games to work with him. And Kawhi doesn't have to sacrifice anything for anybody. Having trust in management is also key, where Toronto and the Clippers easily have two of the top 5 best front offices in the association. Steve Ballmer brings the enthusiasm, Masai Ujiri is one of the best GMs and well respected. Leonard not being from Toronto hurt the Raptors, but he will always be cherished for bringing the city their first ever championship. And the lousy Lakers front office, of course, in panic mode, signed Danny Green to a whooping 2-year $30 million, way too much for a guy his age. 2 years $16 million to KCP, who provided barely anything all of last season, will continue to scramble, while the Lakers don't even have long-term security. With James and Davis under contract, there's no guarantee Davis will resign after next season. LeBron's on the downside of his career, there's also no guarantee how long he will stick around. Doc Rivers' early tampering, saying Kawhi's the most like Jordan that we've seen, certainly worked to his advantage. With Paul George being 29 years old, Leonard 28, Lou Will averaged 20 off the bench last season in 27 minutes of action, Montrezl Harrell 16.5 points easily in his sleep, Landry Shamet 11 a game, will knock down a couple threes, Zubac will continue to get better, Pat Bev is one of the best defensive guards, plays just as hard as Kawhi defensively, Mo Harkless is a solid addition, another great defender. The franchise will compete for at least the next half decade if Leonard and George both stay healthy. We'll have the best defensive backcourt since Harper, Jordan, and Pippen, and Kawhi's also in contention for potentially winning more championships in the future. When it's all said and done, if Leonard ends up winning 2 or 3 more championships, he definitely has a case to be a top 10 player all time. But Leonard doesn't care about all the comparisons and where he's ranked. He just wants to win, and will be on his way in repeating as Finals MVP in back-to-back years with 2 different teams. Stealing Paul George away from Russell Westbrook, absolutely savage. Props to Kawhi Leonard. Those were my quick thoughts on Kawhi signing with the Clippers. Thank you so much for watching this video. Do you guys think Kawhi Leonard made the best decision of his career? Let me know in the comments below. I love all of you. See you next time.